Hello there folks, SeKo Starcraft here, bringing you some ASUS Rog qualifier series. We have Serral, who I've never heard of before, but he made it this far, so he must be good, going up against Taeja, the boss himself. Haven't cast any of his games in a while, but he's one of my favorite people to cast because he is so freaking good. But it is a Terran versus Zerg, one of my favorite matchups. Do like these rocking the Starcrafts there. Though we kind of got like almost like glasses for that guy because of the ring around the command center. Serral, now going up against Taeja, going against one of the best, you just wonder what is going through their mind when they're coming into these kind of games. I was watching a lot of the WCS series recently, America and Europe most in particular, and you'd see people, like say instance J-Dong got knocked out by a Protoss player. What the heck was his name? It's escaping me right now. But, you know, not as strong of a player as J-Dong. I think it was Haas, actually. A very strong player, of course. But he just went for cheesy builds, aggressive builds, things that were just going to make it difficult on J-Dong, things he wouldn't play against as much, even though J-Dong is a tremendous ladder player and you run into everything on ladder. You just did everything you needed to make the game as troubling as possible. And I was watching a Zerg versus Terran with TLO versus Bomber, a series I cast not too long ago. And TLO was able to beat Bomber, and just a godly Terran, by going for really aggressive plays earlier on, Baneling busts, Roach busts, things that made it so that the Terran player just couldn't get into that comfort zone. That really top pro player, just, you can't find that rhythm. And I wonder if that's kind of the things that go through people's minds when they go up against somebody like Taeja. It's nice if you have the confidence when you go into the late game that, yeah, I can beat Taeja straight up, I'm that good. But not a lot of people can really say that truthfully. So when you see these kind of pieces, you wonder if you just almost have to, as a lesser known player, when you're going up against somebody like Taeja, pull out something just a little bit different in order to do well. There is a gas going down nice and early. We'll deal with these Reapers that are popping out here right away. Fairly standard, fairly straightforward, and we'll be seeing an expansion popping down for our Terran player right away here. Zerg player doing a quick little run around with his drone, just wants to make sure there's nothing funky going down when it comes to some sort of a bunker. You can throw down a bunker, you can see the vision line of the Zerg hatch, a bunker going down right here, you would not see it until it's almost done. And sometimes getting down a bunker for the Reaper, even out of here, like this I've seen as a great place for a bunker, so your Reapers can jump up, use it to shoot at things, even shoot from the low ground, and just protect yourself when you get a lot of damage in. Couple Zerglings pop just in time. Taeja will come down here. Sometimes you get lucky and there's a drone just chilling at this base nice and early. I love when that happens when I'm playing Terran against Zerg. There just happens to be a drone just sitting all on its lonesome. These guys are pretty beat up. This queen's about to pop. Two Zerglings have essentially a hit each on them though. That guy just sneaks out of there. Double Marine production just to be able to get him out at the front, and then we're going to see our Hellions pop out here. I'm hoping we get to see mech out of Taeja. I don't think so. He loves his bio Widow Mine style. Two Marines are coming down here. They will not be able to grab this guy in time. They were looking to try to intercept any Overlords. Sometimes you can find the one that's coming along at the bottom of the map, but they will not be as successful. Finally getting a bit of a drone transfer. Feels a little bit more secure. We'll see if he wants to do a wall off here in the next little bit, or just get more Zerglings. I like Zerg players that do a slight overcommitment into Zerglings, kind of in that early mid game, just to clear out all the Hellions on the map. If you can get a great surround, take out, you know, the 6 or 8 Hellions that are out there, you're essentially done with Hellion production then as a Terran. You're not going to be able to get out that number again, and it's missed its usefulness. So when I see the Zerg player able to take care of that, get that map control, make sure they're not going to get harassed, you just feel so much more comfortable as a Zerg player. We'll see if he's going to go for a third hatch here pretty soon. It'd be pretty aggressive. I like to see people get it down somewhere between the 7 and the 8 minute mark. But when you're going up against Reapers and Hellions, it's sometimes very hard to protect a hatch, particularly when a lot of times as a Zerg player you like to take this one, and you will not have these rocks down in time. He's got a lot of zerglings kicking around that he could be using just like that. Start working on the rocks. 6 hellions and a reaper out. Going to be able to patrol around, clear out watchtowers, maybe get lucky and poke in and do a little bit of damage. More overlords getting into position. So I wouldn't mind seeing a Viking pop out of here in the next little bit, just to start picking out these overlords, because there's a lot of very open ones right now. He's going to try and hide that drone. He almost gets away with it too. But it does get cleaned up there. Once again, this is a very difficult hatch to take. Oh, that would have been a sick pick off for Taeja if he was able to do that. There's not enough energy here for transfuses, and now that the Banshee is in play, these queens are in a lot of trouble, even if there's not cloak. Pretty good control out of Taeja here. He's got to try and micro 2 different things, but it looks like he will finally lose these hellions. Doing the best control he can to kill as many as possible. He will almost get all of them. That tree is totally effed. Where did that Banshee go? There it is. There is no cloak on the way, so it's not going to really be able to be more effective than it is right now. The good news for the Zerg player is that he did manage to clean up at least a lot of the hellions on the map. So the harassment is essentially done with those. But soon it will be on to the heavy Taeja bio piece here. I like the engineering base as part of the wall off. You say that's a little bit risky. If somebody was going to Baneling bust, you'd lose them. But they're cheaper, they have good HP, and you need to put them somewhere. So I don't mind that too much. I'm actually starting to see some Terrans, like Bomber for instance, that love putting the command center as part of the wall off, because it has tons of HP, very hard to break, but also it's got a lot of surface area. So if you can't protect it well, sometimes you can get chewed away on if there's some sort of early roach play. Banshee actually survives with 5 hit points left. Be nice for him to send it home and start repairing it. There's not really a reason not to. Zerglings obviously aren't going to commit. I'm surprised Taeja didn't poke out a little bit and try and take a shot. If he could have baited them back in, he would have got a lot of kills there. One spine crawler is just going to butt its head on that for a little while. Eventually those rocks will go down. Let's look at the economy now. Slight lead for the Zerg player in overall a worker count and is making more. Taeja, I'm sure, is right where he wants to be. He's quite comfortable with the position he's at. Is the lair finished yet? No, it is finished. He should be poop and creep. A little bit of an oversight there from the Zerg player. Hopefully he figures it out before that command center gets over there and just buys himself as much time as possible. That's really the goal. He stims his marines. He does want to take out this overlord before the creep can be pooped. Looks like he was about to try to, but couldn't quite pull it off. Slight slip up there from Serral, but he's not in too bad a shape anyways. Spire on the way. Baneling speed. So we're gearing up for that really crazy Zergling Muta versus Widow Mine and Bio. Actually, Hellbat's being mixed in. I do like this. I don't think Blue Flame has been finished at all for these though, which is unfortunate. Blue Flame on these is fantastic when you go up against this kind of Zergling Baneling style. Just manages to toast through so many Zerglings so quickly. That Zergling died nobly. The creep that was actually being done very well from Serral is almost all going to get cleaned up. At least all the active tumors on the east side here. Great surround. Loses all the hellions. I don't know why Terrans always seem to lose all those hellions. They pick up all the marines because they're probably hotkeyed, and then the hellions just get rolled over and toasted. Banelings are kind of on the march, and I'm a little surprised. Well, I guess there's a bunch of Zerglings kind of chilling out here. The Hellbats is part of this mix. It's going to be pretty tough for these big Zergling numbers to really matter. Banelings still do very good against the Hellbats, so it's really still up to how well you can split them. And they're not very fast. They don't stim, so it's not as easy as you might think. Banelings morphing in a terrible spot. Taeja managed to pick up a whole bunch of them, and that's why he's pushing forward. Doesn't expect that his opponent's going to have a lot of Banelings ready. The Baneling speed is here. Spore Crawler getting in a few shots. More Banelings about to morph. This army looks like it's about to be cleaned up. Fair bit. Banshee is actually going to town a little bit here, but unfortunately the mutas are out. So Taeja does have to be very careful. He can lose a lot of his army here. He's not dropping out of this. There he is, out of this medevac. Still not a very big army from Taeja. I don't want to say he's pushing his luck, but he is where all the reinforcements are going to be coming for his opponent. More production facilities are happening now for Taeja. He's really getting to that big macro slide now. He's actually getting out more missile turrets. I like that some Terran players are starting to get just a little bit of extra missile turrets up. Once you get that good economy, you've got that opportunity just to be able to spend a little bit more and give yourself a bit more protection, so that way if your army does get shut down, you're not just going to get picked apart by these muta packs that are going to keep you pinned in your base. Pretty good splits there from Taeja, being as cost effective as possible, but this army is getting pretty small. Reinforcements are nearby, but it's not a lot of reinforcements here. I was about to say, I think all the mutas just died, so unfortunately that's essentially the point at which the Zerg player goes GG. Pretty standard and straightforward, solid game out of Taeja. I'm interested to see if Serral does something different in game number 2, just to weird it up a little bit. SeKo Starcraft, thanks for watching. Talk with you next.